Member for Casey.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. And I commend the member for McEwen for his important motion on Black Saturday. I spoke last week on the anniversary and commemorated the 173 lives lost. And today I want to share my story of Black Saturday and my memories of that day, but also the importance that plays in my role in this house and this place, but also the importance that we have to have as leaders in ensuring that we support those and continue to support those Australians impacted by emergency services. On that day, I I went to my mother's house in Yarra Glen to help her evacuate, and naively looking back, made every mistake in the book, Deputy Speaker, and that's one thing I do urge all Australians to do as we come out of this bushfire season. We enter another one next year. Do not be complacent. So we went to visit to evacuate her. We left when we could see flames, which is rule number one, never to do. And as we left Yarra Glen, the member for Jaga talked about that wind change, and that wind change definitely saved a lot of Melbourne and a lot of lives. But for us, that wind change put us into the fire front, and in about 2 seconds, the flames went from about 1 kilometre away to engulfing the car that I was driving, and my then fiancée, now wife, was in with me. And at that moment, we thought our lives were over. I could not see outside of the windscreen other than smoke and flames, and in a millisecond calculated the road we were on was about 200 metres to the bend, and if we hit that bend it wouldn't really matter because we wouldn't be here. So foot to the floor, we were going in excess of 130, 140 kilometres as my wife repeated in tears, "I love you, I love you, I love you." And in that moment we truly believed that our lives would be over. We got through those flames, escaped the other side. My mum and her husband were in the car behind us, and as we got through that, what felt like forever, Deputy Speaker, was maybe 10 to 15 seconds, I don't know, but in that moment we did not know where they were. They didn't have the luxury of speeding up because they knew that we were in front of them and they couldn't see either. And as a mother does, she wasn't prepared to risk running into us, so she continued at a speed and showed courage that defies logic. And I share that story because that's foundational in who I am and why I'm here today, to make sure that we take our lived experiences as community members and bring that into this house. And that's why I always support and advocate emergency funding. But I also want to share that story because we were fortunate. We didn't lose property. I lost friends. Friends passed away, but my family survived. But the scars of that day stay with me to this day. And I know there are many who last week, 14 years on, it's still raw. I can picture those memories like I'm watching a movie. It doesn't leave you, and I just want to pay tribute to all those survivors that are still battling scars. And in many ways, it's the smallest things. A very hot day, the smell of smoke brings those memories back at the most unexpected times. And I know that there are many survivors out there from Black Saturday that continue to struggle. And while we pay tribute to them, it also makes it difficult for them as well. So I want to pay tribute not just to those that survived, but also the emergency services. And what a lot of people don't know is that it wasn't just the day after. I've got good friends in the CFA who were cleaning up and fighting those fires for months afterwards, 3 to 4 months after, and the emotional and psychological toll that it took on them and it continues to take on them is significant. So I urge that we continue to make sure we support mental health and PSTD support for emergency services, because they are the volunteers of our community who not only put their physical bodies on the line for us, they put their mental health on the line every day. And Black Saturday was just one of many examples of the impact that emergencies have, not just in my community but across the country.
I thank the member for Cosie for that remarkable contribution.